Dr. the Honorable Nigel Clark, Minister of Finance and the Public Service. Dr. the Honorable Norman Dunn, Minister of State in the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce. Mr. Julian Robinson, MP and Opposition Spokesperson on Finance. Mr. Edwin Vacorana, Chairman of BlueStart Capital. Mr. Tasha Bernard, General Manager of BlueStart Capital. BlueStart Leadership Team, Unicomer Group Executives, members of the media, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a beautiful morning to you all. Beautiful, that's the new name, that's the new name. My name is Diane Dunstan and I'm your host for this auspicious occasion. We are here today to witness history in the making. The official launch of BlueStart Capital, trading as Quartz Ready Cash. And if we should take any cues from its sister brand, Quartz Jamaica Limited, who is incidentally celebrating 64 years this year, then we know that BlueStart Capital is here to stay and is definitely intending to make a significant impact on the microcredit industry in Jamaica. We will commence our proceedings by inviting Reverend Astor Carlisle, Senior Pastor of the Webster Memorial United Church, to invoke God's presence on the proceedings. Reverend Carlisle.
Let us pray. Great and wonderful God, on this new day with the sounds and the sights of creation all around us, we declare your goodness and your loving kindness. From you we draw inspiration and guidance for the journey of life. And in you resides the creative genius to make life a meaningful and expansive endeavor. We praise you for our island home, Jamaica, for her various sectors and people who work hard in maintaining the dignity of our existence. We praise you for the spirit of innovation that continues to inspire us to transform stumbling blocks into stepping stones, and for institutions that invest in the sustainability of our society. Today we pray your blessings upon BlueStart Capital Limited in their quest through Quartz Ready Cash to provide financial solutions to our people. Grant that compassion and equity will undergird their efforts. Fill their board of directors, management, and staff with your spirit of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, that they will pursue justice in all their operations. Holy God, as they walk into the future, remind them of your faithfulness in the past, your steadfast accompaniment now, and your uncompromising character in which they can trust. Grant us all the courage to conquer evil, love to help each other, faith to believe that all things are possible, and grace to do what is right, so that in our living and our giving, Jamaica will, under God, increase in beauty, fellowship, and prosperity, and play her part in advancing the welfare of the whole human race. We pray these things for Christ's sake. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Carlisle, for such a riveting prayer. Please allow me to specially recognize the Board of Directors of BlueStart Capital. Edwin Vacorana, Chairman, Richard Luck, Mrs. Mignon Madison-Jones, and Mr. Okito da Silva. It gives me great pleasure to now invite the Chairman of BlueStart Capital, Edwin Vacorana, to bring opening remarks.
Thanks, Diane. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It is a beautiful day, isn't it? Okay, all protocols observed. As a chairman of BlueStart Capital Jamaica, I'm extremely pleased to be part of this event today and having you all I welcome you to witness the official inception of BlueStart Capital Jamaica Limited, which is a company that has been born for the Unicomer Group to enter in this regulated space in full compliance of the Microcredit Act that was enacted in January 2021. And then it came in full effect the past July in 2022. So I am extremely happy that now the real work has started. I have to say I really appreciate the work that the entire team has been doing. All this maybe around 18, 19 months on us working with the Bank of Jamaica to achieve this license that now has put us in the industry as one of the players that is officially being regulated by the Central Bank of Jamaica. Today's celebration is the culmination of this diligent work, and it's important, seeing this from our customers' perspective. Why we did this, why the government is doing this. We are doing this because everybody's speaking about financial inclusion, and our customers' habits are changing. And we know what is happening in the world. Everybody's talking about convenience and how, easy it is to get financial products, and everything is practically, 1-2 taps away, right? So Ready Cash, Courts Ready Cash, and BlueStart is a company that is all about financial inclusion and give opportunities to the Jamaican public, something that we have been doing for many years with our higher purchase products in courts, Lucky Dollar, and the other retail brands that we represent, and now with Ready Cash going into the regulated space and bringing these products to the Jamaican public, our loans, microcredit loans. So this is a huge opportunity, for us to leverage also in the AML compliance. We need to know our customers. The situation in the world is complicated. Many people try to get into illicit business, but now we are part of this apparatus where we can, satisfy the customer's needs and also, under the laws of the land and the regulations in the international and the national standards. Jamaica, Courts Ready Cash is ready when you are. We are ready to propel the economy of this beautiful country too, under the umbrella of the Unicomer Group and the Courts Ready Cash or BlueStart company. So again, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. And God bless this company, this entire business, and everybody that is part of Unicomer Group and this society. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Edwin. I know it wasn't lost on you how many times he mentioned the word customer. I lost count after a while, but customer was infused so much in his speech. Thank you so very much, Edwin. So it's my absolute delight to invite one of our special guests to bring greetings. He pursued his secondary education at the Dintil Technical High School before attending the University of Technology. He holds a Doctor of Pharmacy degree, Masters of Science in Industrial Business, and a Bachelor of Science degree in Management, Economics, and Accounting. He is also the holder of a badge of meritorious service to the profession of pharmacy. A pharmacist by profession, he's a former president of the Pharmaceutical Society of Jamaica. He also served as the vice president of Jamaica Association of Private Pharmacy Owners and the first vice president of the Caribbean Association of Pharmacists. His foray into representational politics began in 2016, and he became the JLP standard bearer on October 31, 2017. Following on his re-election as Member of Parliament for South East St. Mary on September 3, 2020, he was appointed Minister of State in the Ministry of Industry, Investment, and Commerce. Ladies and gentlemen, I speak of none other than the Honorable Norman Dunn, Minister of State in the Ministry of Industry, Investment, and Commerce. Mr. Dunn.
Good morning. What a beautiful day. It's contagious, you know? And furthermore, blue is my favorite color, Minister. Dr. the Honorable Nigel Clark, Minister of Finance, my parliamentary colleague, Julian Robinson, an opposition spokesperson for finance, the very popular pastor, Astor Carlisle. Have you ever been to his church? You should. Mr. Edwin Vaccarano, chairman of BlueStart and the board of directors of Courts Jamaica. Mrs. Atasha Bernard, general manager of BlueStart, and executive members, BlueStart Capital, and the Unicomer Group. Specially invited guests, media practitioners, ladies and gentlemen, again, what a beautiful morning. So I'm happy to share with BlueStart Capital and the Unicomer Group as a whole, and is very pleased as the Minister of State in the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce. And you'd have heard us saying repeatedly these days, the business ministry, to offer brief remarks at this event to officially launch BlueStart Capital Jamaica Limited, trading as Quartz Ready Cash. We have known Quartz Ready Cash for more than 10 years, since June 2012, and now it will continue to operate under this newly licensed microcredit organization called BlueStart Capital. Heartiest congratulations to you for having finalized all the requirements and now being licensed. Your growth over the last 10 years, starting out with just 8 stores in Quartz location and then establishing 9 standalone stores, is remarkable. Today, with 47 locations across Jamaica, Quartz Ready Cash is the only microfinancing operation to have this extensive coverage across Jamaica. This accessibility helps many individuals, families, and micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, or MSMEs, to pursue their dreams and to turn their vision into reality. BlueStart Capital, operating as Quartz Ready Cash, I am told, has made accessing loans easy with no need for guarantors. Is that really true? Nor collateral, is that true? And boasts the shortest approval time of within 24 hours. That is remarkable. So as it is, Quartz Ready Cash is providing a needed service for individuals and MSMEs that may have difficulty accessing financing from other established entities. This ministry recognizes that many of our MSMEs have difficulty accessing affordable and appropriate financing. Therefore, Quartz Ready Cash facilitating MSMEs is welcome as you seek to offer not only personal loans, which allow many benefits, but others to benefit from within their companies. I am especially happy that you do not only facilitate dispersing of loans that you have, but you, which is almost unheard of, Minister, that not just the loans, but they're also willing to work and to partner with businesses in business planning, business strategy, documentation, and money management. So you're ensuring that your money is safe, right? This is so important to MSME's contribution to the gross domestic products of Jamaica, which is estimated to be about 44%. We, therefore, encourage the players in the sector by facilitating financing options. So while the Microcredit Act of 2021 identifies the Bank of Jamaica as the regulator or authority with responsibility for general administration and supervision of microcredit institutions, our ministry, the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Jamaica's business ministry, is pleased to be associated with the microfinance sector to help to ensure that Jamaicans who utilize the services are in fact protected. The Consumer Affairs Commission, the CAC, an agency of our ministry, the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce, has the responsibility for developing the code of conduct for those companies licensed under the Act and for investigating any complaints made by consumers of microfinancing entities. I therefore commend the CAC for their diligence in developing the code, and I look forward to getting an update from them after they have received the feedback on their draft submission. This code of conduct is important as it will hold entities like yours accountable and allow consumers that added measure of safety in conducting their business. Additionally, as a member of parliament for a rural constituency, I am also happy to hear of your plan to support the government water tank initiative. Your commitment to providing select primary and secondary schools across Jamaica with water tanks to help to ease the water woes demonstrates your company's corporate social responsibility. I applaud you for these efforts and the efforts of Court Ready Cash for this significant supporting and commitment to communities that has been impacted by these issues. So as you continue to grow your business and continue to empower individuals and MSMEs, I commend your strides and your initiatives, which altogether help to make Jamaica a place for all of us to be proud of. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and thank you.
Thank you, Minister Dunn, for those words of commendation and congratulations. It is with pleasure that I call on another special guest to bring his greetings. He has been a member of Parliament since 2011. He is currently the Shadow Minister of Finance and the Chairman for the Opposition and Chairman of the Parliament's Public Accounts Committee. From 2012 to 2016, he served as Minister of State in the Ministry of Finance, in the Ministry of Science, Technology, Energy, and Mining. Prior to entering representational politics, he worked as a management consultant in the UK and in economic development with Jamaica's Investment Promotion Agency. He holds a BSc in Management and Economics from the University of the West Indies and a Master's in Business Administration from the University of Illinois. Ladies and gentlemen, I invite Julian Robinson, MP and Opposition Spokesperson on Finance, to the podium.
Thank you very much, Madam Master of Ceremonies. My colleagues, Nigel and Norman, Reverend Astor Carlyle from the United Church, the Chairman and the Board of BlueStart, and all the members of the BlueStart team, the courts team, the Unicoma team. It's a beautiful morning. Did I get that right? Beautiful. I'm very happy to share in this occasion. The microcredit sector is probably one of the fastest growing and the most dynamic sectors within Jamaica. And I think the three of us as members of parliament would know of many of our constituents who can only depend on the microcredit sector to access funding, whether it's for personal reasons or for their own businesses. Typically, someone who runs a cook shop, somebody who runs a shop. And I'm very happy that courts, and I can use the term courts has embraced this sector and is actually fully complying with the Microcredit Act. And the reason that's important, we know the people who come to microcredit agencies tend to be the most vulnerable, and they are prone to being exploited. And we have a lot of players, quite frankly, who operate in this sector, something I've learned as a member of parliament, who have no fixed address. They actually drive around and they provide funding for many businesses. And I've had to interact with my own constituents who will tell me that they borrow 50,000 and have to pay back 100 by the end of the month. So there is absolutely a degree of exploitation that takes place in the sector. So it is important that you're providing a service and you're doing so within the confines of the Act and doing so where it is regulated and can be monitored. I want to encourage you to expand and grow your business because there are too many Jamaicans who simply cannot access the formal banking system. They can't get a loan because they don't have any history of income. Their income is informal. They wouldn't have a pay slip unless they're formally employed. And as such, it's difficult for them to operate. And many of them interact with us because they come to us for support. So it's a sector which is important, and I would encourage the minister as we look at how we deploy DBJ funds for the micro entities that we examine how we can use more of these types of companies that have channels across the entire country to support ensuring that the funds get to the players who actually need it. So I'm happy to share in this occasion. I'm told that you're distributing water tanks to members of parliament. I can't claim paternity because I'm on the other side of Slipe Road. But since Norman mentioned it, I look forward to working with you as our schools in this area can benefit from that. But congratulations on this launch and congratulations on being a good corporate citizen. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Robinson. Ladies and gentlemen, are you feeling like a winner today? Do we have any winners among us? I am reliably told that there are some hot seats in the house, and there are some stickers under the seats. I'm going to invite you to just reach under your seat to see if you're one of those hot seat winners. Do we have any winner? Any winner? Are we sure? We've checked? No winners yet? Okay. Not yet. Have we checked? One winner. Do we have a winner? There we go. Okay. Congratulations. So we will have, someone will take your prize to you. Congratulations. There we go. I knew we had some winners in the house. Great. There's another winner? Awesome, awesome, awesome. No winner on this side? You want to do a check again, ladies and gentlemen? No? No winners on this side? I'm sure there's a winner on this side, so please. Okay, okay. There we go. I knew we had other winners. There goes some, there we are. There we are. Quite a number of winners. Ladies and gentlemen, we are especially honored to have our guest speaker, our special keynote speaker, share this special moment with us today. As we know, he has a keen eye on this industry because of its significant role in broadening access and financial inclusion for Jamaicans, consumers, as well as spurring entrepreneurship. Dr. the Honorable Nigel Clarke is the Minister of Finance and the Public Service. He's also the Member of Parliament for St. Andrew Northwestern. Prior to his appointment as Minister of Finance, Minister Clark served as Ambassador at Large for Economic Affairs, Chairman of the Port Authority of Jamaica, and Chairman of the National Housing Trust. Minister Clark is a financier and businessman by background and spent over 2 decades in the private sector. He holds a Doctor of Philosophy in Mathematics and an MSc in Applied Statistics from Oxford University, where he was a Rhodes Scholar, a Commonwealth Scholar, and he holds a BSc in Mathematics and Computer Science from the University of West Indies, where he was a Jamaica Scholar. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you our special keynote speaker, Dr. the Honorable Nigel Clark, Minister of Finance and the Public Service.
Minister of State, the Honorable Dr. Norman Dunn, Reverend, my colleague and good friend, Julian Robinson, Chairman and executives of the Unicomer and Courts family, members of the media, good morning. It is good to be here, and I'm glad that you have made something of the formation and start of BlueStart Capital. Under the Microcredit Act, which came into force in 2021, it required, among other things, for microcredit activities to be segregated and separated from other activities. If you're going to regulate a set of activities, it can't be commingled, because the Bank of Jamaica doesn't know anything about sofas and set-top TVs or anything like that. What they want to be able to look at are the activities of this particular sector. Now, for an entity like courts that's been around for 60 years, you know, that could have come as some major inconvenience, because here they are set up, they're doing their business over a long period of time, and on comes regulation that says, no, you can't do that anywhere, you can't do it that way anymore. You have to take the two businesses, separate them, and make sure you're licensed and properly regulated. At the time, when we went through bringing this legislation to the House in the stakeholder consultations, and even when it got to the House, lots of consternation and concern because we had a sector that had grown tremendously over the previous 20 or 30 years, totally unregulated. And unfortunately, what happened, as what has happened around the world, is that because it was unregulated, we had practices that developed that were not conducive to the wholesome, development of Jamaica. And quite apart from the developmental objectives, in order for Jamaica to comply with our international obligations as far as money laundering is concerned, it was necessary to bring the sector under regulation. Let me just say something about money laundering, our reforms there, and then come over, right? Because microcredit organizations, if they're not properly regulated, like other organizations that deal with money, can be very useful ways of getting ill-gotten proceeds, have them filter through the economy and come back. All you have to do is offer loans with minus interest rates, right? Or offer loans, there are myriads of ways. So that was a huge loophole in Jamaica, and indeed the evidence shows that there are, organizations that, this is a good day, as we said. This is a beautiful morning, so we'd have to go in. But the point is that Jamaica needed this regulation because it left us vulnerable to nefarious players abusing the microcredit sector. Now, courts had a choice. Courts could have just said, boy, can't deal with this, government regulation. Why? But no, they did not take that route. In fact, during the whole process, I know that they have been extremely cooperative and compliant with the policy objectives of the government. And it is for that reason that I'm especially pleased and proud of the fact that BlueStart Capital is duly licensed and regulated, and one of the first, I believe there are over 13 now that are properly licensed in the microcredit space. But for courts in particular that had to segregate the business and put this activity in a new limited liability company, it required a particular level of effort, and we need to commend them for their leadership and for the example that they have shown. And if they can do it, then everybody can do it. The idea is that we have over 100 microcredit institutions that have applied to be licensed, and that's a process that will take some time. I note Julian was mentioning, or who is it, or Norman, I can't remember who, that there are players in the spaces that we represent who engage in abusive practices. Well, the microcredit regulation gives the regulator tremendous power in stepping in with dissuasive sanctions and activities against persons who abuse those positions. The Microcredit Act requires for there to be standards for advertisement of loan products, for the financing rate to be disclosed, and a rate that can be compared with others. I forgot the technical term for it. I mean, I know in the US it's called APR. And to even in enforcement and in collection activities, there's a certain framework in which those activities ought to occur. You can't just go beat on a man's door and say, you owe your money for the microcredit loan, okay? And I want to be very clear that the government is going to be extremely serious in enforcing these regulations, particularly when it comes to consumer protection and protecting microcredit customers. So we're given opportunity for the licensing process to work, for entities to come forward. It's a huge change. It's a lot. I mean, I think it was the chairman from courts or the manager who spoke and told you the length of time it took them to get through. So we understand that it's a process that requires a lot of information and back and forth with the regulator. But once sufficient time has passed, the government, through the regulator, will be ensuring that those who violate the provisions of the Microcredit Act, either by engaging in money lending activities that fall under the Microcredit Act, and the definition is very precise, without being duly licensed, the regulator will act, and those businesses would be subject potentially to serious sanctions. And also, I wanted to say to the public at large, if you are aware of any abuse in terms of the consumer practices of microcredit organizations, to bring it to the attention of the regulators. Right? There is supposed to be a clarity and transparency in the pricing of product and in the terms of the product. Those ought to be specified up front, and even if people, loans have to be repaid, but there are methods that are not approved for enforcement of repayment. And if persons are in communities who are being overly harassed and abused as far as collection activities are concerned, they just need to raise the alarm, and the regulators will come in. Now, as we climb the ladder of development, as a country that gained independence, political independence, 60 years ago, with a lot of deficits in our social and physical infrastructure, as we seek to climb the development ladder in a world that is constantly changing, in a world where we are not an island to ourselves, but we live in the neighborhood of nations, it is going to be necessary for us to continuously be engaged in reform, for us to be continuously changing the way we do things with new laws, new regulations, new policies, new ways of going about activities. That is if we want to climb the development ladder. And so we have to be prepared as a society for a life that involves continuous reform and change for us to get to the promise that we know is ours. And that requires a dispensation, one that is open to change, one in which we can dialogue about the changes that are upon us and ensure that concerns can be addressed. We have a number of reforms that are on the books to come through Parliament, some of them, and reforms in policy. We just went through a huge reform, the compensation reform that affected all 110,000 persons in the public service. A reform that should have happened a long, long time ago, to go 60 years with a compensation system designed 60 years ago, and that has been pitchy-patch and patchy-pitch over that time, to the point that it evolved to 325 scales, 185 allowances, completely unwieldy and unworkable. And a reform of that nature is grand and complex and detailed. And it's only because Jamaica has the social infrastructure that we have, the fact that we have a social partnership, that we have a free press, that people are allowed to express themselves, and we have a culture of dialogue where sometimes they're screaming, sometimes they're shouting, sometimes there's a little conversation, and those can lead to further understanding or changes as the case may be, has been a very important part of the underlying landscape that has allowed us to achieve success. But we must be very proud of the fact that we have been able to take a broken system that has been in place for a very long time and to introduce change that we have all wanted and all seen as necessary. Indeed, the unions themselves were the first to point it out, that the system that we have in place or had in place was broken. And we signed various agreements that this was something that we had to do. Now, under that reform, people were earning $8,000, $9,000 a week in the public service, and indeed certain contractors to the public service, as I think Julian has pointed out, would have probably even been less. But under this reform, the lowest level in the public service, is moving from the scales, move from about $8,000 a week all the way beyond the new minimum wage to $17,000 or thereabouts per week. And that is something that we can all be proud of. Now, what we want to make sure is that when that happens, persons now going out to seek financial services, that they have a increased ability to consume financial services, that those financial services are provided in a wholesome way. And that is why we're depending on BlueStart Capital to take the lead. And we're depending on you to set an example in the marketplace of how one delivers services like these in an upfront manner that is consistent with the law and with the regulation. But to me, today is important for a number of reasons. A new company started, essentially, which means new kinds of jobs, right? You need new jobs to comply with the regulation, which is great. But more importantly, that it sets the tone going forward for microcredit services in Jamaica. And, you know, with an entity that has the enduring record of 60 years of quality performance in Jamaica, you are already a leader in this space, and we look forward to the example that you set, because you set an example now allows the regulator the freedom, right, to act, because we have people now who are compliant. See, they have done it. They had a much harder job to do than you. They've been around for 60 years. They have all their business commingled in their branches all over the place, people coming in. The law required them to have a separate board, separate management structure, separate company, separate accounts, separate bank account. For those not involved in Unicom and courts, just imagine what was involved in that desegregation of activities, right? So we see you as leaders in this space, and the government will continue to support this sector. And as Julian mentioned, you know, using the microcredit institutions as ways in which we can channel funds, because as Minister mentioned, MSMEs and small businesses and individuals are the lifeblood of our economy, and making sure that they have access to finance is incredibly important. Because I believe BlueStart Capital as a separate entity, you know, I don't know, you'll speak about it, but the products that you offer may not necessarily only be used to purchase from your related party, but you will be into the microcredit space broadly defined. And that is a good thing. That's a good thing, because 17% of Jamaicans, or somewhere in that ratio, don't have a bank account. So the microcredit institutions are a part of the financial services landscape and help us to achieve financial inclusion, that persons who need access to financial services can get them, but we want them to get them in a wholesome way. So congratulations to BlueStart Capital, and congratulations to Unicoma and to courts for this momentous achievement, and the government of Jamaica stands by in support of this sector and this industry. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Minister. You know you're off to a beautiful start when you've gotten your license and the Minister of Finance and Public Service endorses and looks to you to set the bar in the industry. So now we're going to hear from our General Manager, Miss Beautiful herself. Tasha Bernard is going to join us and tell us about the overview of BlueStart Capital.
The Honorable Minister, Dr. Nigel Clark, Honorable Minister, Dr. Norman Dunn, Mr. Julian Robinson, Opposition, Spokesperson on Finance, our BlueStart Chairman, Edwin, the BlueStart Board of Directors, the BlueStart Leadership Team, the Unicoma executives, the Unicoma family, members of the media, special invited guests, customers, a beautiful good morning. On behalf of the Unicoma family, it is my pleasure to welcome you today to the launch of BlueStart Capital, as well as to celebrate this milestone in the organization history, which is a true testimony of teamwork. And I would like Edwin to stand. Mr. Blue, right? It took us 13 months from our first submission of the license to get our final approval. And Edwin has led that process very well. Thank you, Edwin. BlueStart Capital will continue to trade as Quartz Ready Cash, which is a well-known brand that has provided loans to Jamaicans since June 2012. We are very proud of our achievements and growth over the last 10 years. 47 locations, that's a strong footprint. Ladies and gentlemen, this represents the largest footprint of a microcredit business in Jamaica with a growing portfolio and positive impact on people's life. Having received the license is a huge milestone for the team because the work has just begun. And we would like to use this opportunity to thank everyone, every single one from the Unicomer family for their continuous support and dedication to the Quartz Ready Cash business. Now that we are regulated, we must comply. Yes, Dr. Clark, we must comply. And we will continue to strengthen our compliance framework and governance structure to remain compliant with all the required regulations. Our customers are no longer a part of the informal sector. They are now included in the formal economy, and we will leverage regulations to promote financial inclusion, contribute to economic development, and increase our efforts to provide credit solutions to small business, self-employed, and support personal needs. We want to continue to lend those persons that do not have a bank account. We're not just here to lend, we are here to ensure that we support the needs of our customers. We are here to ensure that we support the wants too and the aspiration of our customers. Based on statistics, with 17% of persons without bank account, this is still a large group of population that are unserved or underserved in the financial sector. Now that we are included in the regulated sector, we are eager to empower people to maximize their potential, to create opportunities that will improve their standard of living, which will boost the economy and contribute positively to Vision 2030 of Jamaica, the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. So, yes, most of our loans are processed within 24 hours, but we also have loans that are approved in 2 minutes because we will continue to use technology to leverage our processes as we continue to grow. There are some famous Jamaican proverbs. Every mickle make a muckle, right? Tell me another one. All right, one cocoa, full basket. Under the Quartz Ready Cash brand, BlueStart Capital will continue the organization ethos of being a responsible corporate citizens committed to improving the lives of our customers, by extension, the communities we serve. As such, we have identified the need to support the government water tank initiative, and we will give a value of $1 million towards water tanks. And that will be focused on the parishes that have been severely impacted: Clarendon, St. Thomas, Portland, St. Mary, and Westmoreland. We're going to earn some more money so we can include the other parishes, right? Ladies and gentlemen, this team is very passionate about providing innovative financial solutions to maximize opportunities. We are here to support the needs of the customers, our team members as well, and are confident that the brand will continue to evolve, improve digital footprints, and maintain the current position as Jamaica's #1 microcredit business. Quartz Ready Cash, ready when you are. Thank you and have a beautiful day.
Thank you very much, Natasha. We're looking forward. Ready, set, BlueStart, go. So we have a few tokens to offer to our special guest speakers. So I want to invite Chantel Stewart, Marketing Officer of BlueStart Capital, to the podium with her gifts. And then we're going to invite the guests to join her here to accept. While we're doing that, I have another giveaway. And it's probably coming too soon after Atasha's speech because she mentioned it, so it's going to be super easy. How many locations of BlueStart Capital are there? I think I'm going to give the gentleman in the front. You agree with me? 47. We have a winner here. The Honorable Dr. Dunn. We have a winner. Great. Okay, I want to invite Dr. Clark. Could you join us on the podium for your, or right there, yes. Dr. Norman Dunn. And Mr. Julian Robinson, could you join us here? Thank you. Okay. And of course, the people's Reverend, Reverend Pastor Carlisle. Thank you so much, Chantel. That's just a small token to express our thanks to our guests, our special invited guests, who we know have taken time out of their busy schedule to be with us today. We really appreciate it. So there's a slight change to our program, and just before we do the symbolic activity of cutting that ribbon to our BlueStart store just across from us, we're going to invite Tonian Latti, our PR and Marketing Officer, to offer a vote of thanks.
Honorable Minister Dr. Nigel Clark, Minister of Finance and the Public Sector, Honorable Minister Dr. Norman Dunn, Minister in the Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Julian Robinson, MP, Opposition Spokesman on Finance, Unicomer Group and BlueStart Capital executives, members of the media, specially invited guests, our customers, team members, good morning. Thank you all for being in attendance and sharing the moment as we mark a beautiful Thursday, the official launch of BlueStart Capital trading as Courts Ready Cash. After months of tedious planning, preparation, and positioning, we are proudly declaring Courts Ready Cash as #1. Ministers Norman Dunn, Nigel Clark, and Opposition Spokesman Julian Robinson, this company is pleased to have welcomed you this morning. We are ready for business and appreciate your acknowledgement. We say prayer aligns us with the will of God, and we appreciate you, Rev. Carlisle, for interceding on behalf of BlueStart Capital and Courts Ready Cash. To our customers, thank you for trusting the process and being patient as we transitioned to our best. We are ready when you are and excited to be your financial partner for life. Internal team members, we are gracious for your patience, guidance, and foresight. Your accommodation and care has truly set the tone for what we can now declare as a successful launch event. Yes? To our supporting partners, Vantage One Events, Marketing Plus Communications, Strategic Connections, Support Services, and other stakeholders, we are especially grateful for your attention to detail and commitment to ensuring that we look and feel our best. Collectively, we have made magic once again. We appreciate your diligence. Madam MC, Diane D., thank you for so carefully guiding the proceedings. You've made our day. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for sharing the first half of your morning with us, and we wish you the most productive, prosperous, and positive Thursday. Make it beautiful. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for is here. So we're going to invite Dr. Nigel Clark, Edwin Vacquarano, Atasha Bernard to join us at the store to do the official cutting of the ribbon. Put in some more photos there. No, this one. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your patience. Thank you for being in attendance. We have come to the end of this occasion, and we want to ask you to stick around and enjoy the refreshments that have been provided. And we're going to ask the ministers and our opposition counterpart to join us here for some photo opportunity. Thank you so very much. Have a good rest of day. Have a beautiful, let's say it, have a beautiful day.